And just like that, we're on to show number 2 with an old background and an old friend who has returned to talk to us about his Cowboys and what happened today. Alan Peralez joins us, and we are going to get right into it right after this intro. Fanboys Unleashed here on a Friday night owl edition. I'm not going to go hoot hoot, but maybe I'll go a wolf's howl. Ow! And I'm howling like the wolf. Hi, everybody. It's Mr. First Down here. I am a Fanboy Unleashed. I am joined here by Alan. He is a Fanboy Unleashed. I mean, look, he's a little down for his back, okay? He's been carrying the weight of being a Cowboys fan for so long. And he's tired, guys. He can't take it much more. Alan,
30 years. 30 years of this nonsense.
Oh, Lord, Alan, it's great to have you on. I hope your back is feeling better. And,
the only thing giving me solace is watching the Yankees blow a 6-run lead to the Marlins and losing on a walk-off.
America wins when that happens.
Yes, it definitely does. It helps my team out, too, because we're in the midst of a wild card battle with them, the Mariners, and the Red Sox, which the Red Sox won earlier tonight, too, so...
I'm meanwhile, me and my Guardians, I'm crying in a corner watching people disappear from my roster and was terrified that Quan.
But Stephen Quan.
Yeah, halla freaking Luya. Jose and Quan, baby. That's all Sammy needs. Anyway, but, enough about that other game. We got to talk about the pigskin, my man. The pigskin. Mainly.
Hey, we finally have football now.
That's right. We had some football. We had ourselves a little Hall of Fame game. Maybe some people blew it out of proportion, but let's go ahead and talk about that Hall of Fame game, shall we? What were your thoughts? Can you take anything away from that game? I think you can at least look at maybe the depth at the Lions is not as good as perceived.
Yeah, and I think it's why a lot of people, including us, have said that, maybe the Lions take a step back this year. They're not as deep as what they have been the last couple of years. Obviously, their coordinators are gone to new head coaching jobs. But I was kind of impressed with what the Chargers were able to do. Seeing some guys, familiar faces, obviously, Trey Lance, who was with the Cowboys the last couple of years, played a very good game, albeit against second and third stringers, but still very solid game from him. Tony Jefferson, former OU Sooner back in the day, still out there playing safety, patrolling the backfield for that Charger team. It was pretty much one-sided, and again, like you said, Sam, it kind of just shows that Detroit's depth might not be as good as what we think it is.
No, and yet Bodkins was kind of crushing me because I just don't believe that this year that they're going to be this amazing team like they have been, and people just want to will it to be so because it's Detroit. They've suffered long enough, and I agree they have suffered long enough. That doesn't mean you can't take steps back, and it doesn't mean I think they're done either. Like, come back stronger next year, figure out what you need to do, fix it, and move on from there, So it was really interesting. I always have to watch myself because these games are not crazy important, but that was a very one-sided affair. And I was, interested in Hendon Hooker. I was a little bummed that I didn't get to see a lot more of him. But hey,
that might change next preseason game based on how we saw Kyle Allen play, because I don't know what Kyle Allen was doing last night. It was not good.
Good old Kyle Allen. What's up with these quarterbacks? Brandon Allen, Kyle Allen, Josh Allen. What's going on? Are they multiplying?
Allen's a common last name, and the way I spell my first name is the way it's usually spelled the last name way.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
My mom, I guess, wanted to be different. Didn't want to use the normal
It's the
spelling on it,
Irish spelling. What?
which a lot of people have misspelled my name over the years. That here's the thing, Sam. They get the Mexican last name perfect, but the English first name they always mess it up whenever they try to spell it. I'm like, how is that even possible?
It doesn't help that your phone sometimes is just like, you know what? No, it's spelled like this, and it changes it, and then you're stuck there and whatever. The Lions stink. They stink. They stink.
That's right, Scott.
I don't know why I'm doing Nick Bodkin's accent for it, but they stink anyway. But Scott, I don't think they stink, but I don't think they're going to be.
They're spotty at best, Scott.
Yeah, they're spotty. They're a little spotty. 11 just spots. Okay, so we move on here, and before I get really, we're going to recap here, okay? And you can help me walk through this here. Jerry, this is a training camp press conference, right?
I believe so.
Is? Okay, so it's a training camp press conference, I think 2 or 3 days ago. I think. I could be wrong. My days are all pushing together.
I mean, lately I've been eating cherry Pop-Tarts, so.
Alan, that's why we're friends. Cherry frosted Pop-Tarts are the bomb. I will fight you.
I think I had, what did I have? Cherry, and then I had, I guess the chocolate one was also one that I eat sometimes. Yeah. I like brown Pop-Tarts. Sugar cinnamon as well. So
Pop-Tarts are great. I won't apologize for that. Okay, so let me start again so I can clip this one. Just saying. So here we are, and Jerry has a press conference at training camp, and he decides to, what would you call it? Shoot his mouth off about players on the team, players like Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott.
Here's the thing with that, Sam, mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm trying to defend Jerry and what he's saying, but part of what he's saying, if you take it into context, is actually true. Like, okay, you can pay these guys, you can pay, but injuries just happen all willy-nilly. You don't know if these guys are going to be there the full 17 games. I mean, take Dak, for example. He's been hurt 2 of the last 3 years. Half of his career, he's been on the shelf. But the only reason he's still around is that when he is healthy and when he does play a full season, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, 2 years ago, he was the MVP runner-up to Lamar Jackson. So that's why you still keep him. CeeDee Lamb, same reason. Yeah, the injury thing, he battled with injuries, but that's the thing with football. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. And that's the thing I think people have to realize is that regardless of how safe they try to make the game, guys are still going to get hurt.
It's a violent game. At the end of the day,
it's a violent game. Guys are still going to get hurt regardless of what the rule changes are, how they're trying to make the game safer, what have you. And I think that's what Jerry was trying to say. Was like, we'll definitely.
What Jerry meant to say was,
we definitely want to pay Parsons, but there's the risk of him getting hurt and us not having him available.
Right.
Okay. And I think people looked at that as like, well, Jerry thinks he's obviously injury prone. That's why he's not paying him. That's why he's not. He's trying to make excuses for why he's not paying him. He should pay him. Let's just throw that out there right now. He needs to be paid. That was
my next question. He
needs to be
Micah
paid.
Parsons, on record, Micah Parsons needs to be paid by Jerry, correct?
Yes, he is our best defender. He's our best defender, and you've seen at times when Micah came back from his injury early in the season, it affected the entire defense, and the entire defense played better with him in the lineup. So yes. he's definitely your generational talent, your guy.
It makes a big difference. Yeah. 100%.
And I don't know if you saw what Michael Irvin said earlier, but he was saying give him a 10-year contract.
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of generational talent, If he is a top player on defense, on the defense out of all the defensive players in the NFL, he needs that type of contract. Is what Michael Irvin was saying. And I'm like, you know what? That actually would make sense.
Yeah, he'll be a lifer. He'll be there forever. Finish his career there. Yeah, if you are that,
it would basically be similar to what Patrick Mahomes is getting as a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that. I can deal with that. Okay. So we move on. Social media post comes out today, which was great because I needed to talk to you about other things. So this works out great. You know, I didn't have to come up with a huge headline or anything like that. Social media post from Micah Parsons. It does not paint a pretty picture of the Cowboys organization. Trying to meet without his agent, talking down to it, stuff like that. That's not something you want to read. And I haven't seen a rebuttal yet from the Cowboys. I was kind of expecting one to be swiftly put out. But what do you make of this? Has Jerry finally overplayed his hand here? Is Micah Parsons? Do you think Micah Parsons really like, hey, I'm sick of this, I'm leaving, or do you think it's just a ploy? What do you think?
I think Jerry needs to realize that we're not in the 90s anymore. The old way of getting contracts done, of getting, players signed, it doesn't work like that anymore. And I know Jerry wants to do everything his own way. It's all about him. If they win, it's all because of him. If they lose, he has nothing to do with it. The thing is, though, he needs to start taking more responsibility for his actions.
Yes.
And Steven's the same way. Steven needs to take the responsibility as well. And the problem is that because Jerry has built the Cowboy brand to what it is today, there's like this certain, like, I guess you can say, shield around him that says, okay, it doesn't matter because we're still printing money anyway.
Right.
Because, you look at this situation, no matter what happens in this situation, Jerry Jones is still going to come out a winner.
Yep.
Because you're either going to sign Micah and you're going to please the fan base and he's going to be a Cowboy for life, or you're going to trade him off and you're going to get like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, like a haul for Micah Parsons in that regard. So either way, Jerry's going to win. So that's why that's probably why you haven't heard a rebuttal from the Cowboys, is that they know they're not in it. They're in a situation where it's a win-win either way, regardless. Does it paint a bad picture for them in the media? Of course it does. That's just how it's been for the last 10 or so years with them, is that this is the sideshow known as the Dallas Cowboys. This is why people say it's like, oh, they'll be in the playoffs, but they're not going to go very far, or they're not going to do this, or they're not going to do that. And, they don't have anybody to kind of take charge away from Jerry or anything like that. And
you didn't draft Manziel because Steven took it out of his hand. Mm-hmm. So there's that,
And the thing is that nobody gives credit to Jerry Jones for the 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And I think that eats at him. I think that hurts his ego. So that's why he does the things that he does, because he's trying to win one on his terms by doing it his way. Because while he thinks he did it in 95, that was still with Jimmy's players. And really, Barry Switzer had really nothing to do with that, other than the fact then just kind of coach them up and do whatever, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they got lucky in that playoff run, too. They didn't have to play the 49ers, who were a hot team that game.
Very hot.
They always had Brett Favre's number. For some reason, Brett Favre could not do well against the Cowboys whatsoever in the 90s. And every team that they play, because you look at those teams and you're thinking, how the hell did that team make it to the Super Bowl in 95?
Mhm.
Well, they didn't play the 49ers. Let's just call it what it is. They got lucky because Brett Favre decided to Brett Favre his way through San Francisco and beat the 49ers that year. So had that not happened, I don't think they get to the Super Bowl that year.
Makes sense.
And it also helps, and I say this all the time. It also helps when Neil O'Donnell was playing pitch and catch with Larry Brown. It literally those two interceptions that Neil O'Donnell threw in that Super Bowl 30, if people want to look this up, were right to Larry Brown.
Yes.
Like, right to him.
Like, zipped it right into the breadbasket. Like,
guy gets MVP for having 2 balls thrown right to him.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Alan, what is your patience level with Dak Prescott? Where are we on that? Are you okay with him being quarter? I mean, he signed a contract for what, 5 years? So 5.
I'm okay with him. I'm okay with him being the quarterback because I think we can still win with him. It's just, again, it's all the outside drama that kind of is like, it takes the attention off the game, takes the attention off the pre-games and whatnot. But I will say, I think we finally got the right head coach for the job. From what I'm seeing in training camp, from what I'm seeing in practices, I'm starting to come around to Brian Schottenheimer.
Hey, you might as well, right? What's he got to lose? Nothing. Go for it.
I mean, for those who are wondering, it's like, why, everybody was kind of giving Schottenheimer as like, oh, he's just a filler for whoever Jerry wants next, or this, blah, blah, blah. 2 of the first 3 practices, there were fights. There were fights in practices, and we see this all the time. Teams get into fights, and you break it out. What have you. He literally said, the next person that throws fists is getting kicked out of practice. And then what was it? Either yesterday, I think it was yesterday's practice, got to a fight again. It was a rookie offensive lineman that started it. Shotty kicked him out of practice. Had the entire team, not just the players, but coaches as well, line up and run sprints to end practice.
I mean, what else can you do?
And even some players are like that. That's the accountability we've been missing. That's the accountability that the Cowboys have been missing the last couple of years.
Yeah. Sometimes it can't just be do your job, and sometimes it can be, but other times it can't.
It's now it's going to be, how are you going to respond to that? How are you as a player going to respond to somebody being like, hey, you need to do this, or you're not going to be seeing the field as much.
Right. So Dak Prescott, like, you have patience with him. I understand that, perfectly fine with it. But even let's say it happens again. The stupid, you go into the playoffs, you lose the first game, and Dak is just bad. Are you still patient with him after that? Or, like, is it just going to be like, it's this next year, his last year in Dallas, and he's going to burn it down kind of thing?
That is probably going to be the hardest question for me to answer.
Yeah, because if it happens again, I don't care who you are. At
because you've been through it once before with Tony Romo, and he's been serviceable at times. Obviously he's dealt with injuries in his past too.
Yep, his shoulder's made out of metal.
Yeah. And I mean, you at least in the transition from Romo to Prescott, you didn't have to go through 5 different quarterbacks. Because I remember the transition from Troy Aikman to Tony Romo was like, okay, Anthony Wright, Tony Banks, who else was it? Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, freaking like 10 guys you have never even heard of now, and then it's just like, oh, we'll go with the undrafted kid who actually got us into the playoffs. Sure.
Right. I'm just curious because
And I'll say this because this is kind of a hot take. 2005 was their best chance to go to a Super Bowl.
okay. Is that the
2000
Seahawks game?
that was the Seahawks game where they lost because
They had all the momentum. They had all the momentum.
They get that field goal. They knock out the team that eventually goes to the Super Bowl, and I think they make the run. And we get Pittsburgh, Dallas again in the Super Bowl.
Again. Rec Room Sports Hub, Joe Milton stepped right up. I do love Bazooka Joe. I know Scott Cove hears Bazooka Joe, and he starts to shudder and go into his old man panic attacks again. But
Bazooka Joe, he's actually hasn't
been
too bad in practice. He's looked pretty good.
I'm not shocked at all. He looks the part. Big arm and a big dude.
It depends on where we finish. Because this is a pretty good quarterback class. I don't see Jerry trading up for Arch Manning, if that were the case. Because that would be just giving up too much. Unless you do trade Micah and you get like a haul for him, then that's a possibility of maybe trading up for him. I just can't see. Unless it's somebody that kind of falls like a Cade Klubnik or something like that, that would be something I'll be like, okay, maybe we'll entertain it. But this is a pretty good quarterback class, so you might be able to find a diamond in the rough or something like that. But
for sure, yeah.
My thought is that I think Dak will stay healthy enough to where they can at least make a run to the playoffs again.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all about that life. It's been an interesting camp with Schottenheimer and his headband. I can't get over it. Scott says,
"Nurse more pudding, please."
Wow, Scott. Wow.
He's making that nurse work double time.
Yeah. I've already given you pudding. I want more. You work for me. I pay your salary.
I pay your rent.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. You look at the rest of the NFC East, right? Like, I mean, it's the Eagles, right? There's no stopping them. They just look completely in control. Do you share that assessment, or do you think that somebody else is going to wrestle that away from you?
I want to say yes, because the Eagles are that team. But history for the last 20 years, Sam, it's been like no team wants to win this division 2 straight years for some reason.
If it's not,
there's always something that happens that keeps the division winner from the prior year from winning the division the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that happens, how that keeps happening. And the only reason that I say, yes, Philly can break that streak is because, obviously we see what's going on in Dallas right now. It's the same thing that's happening in Washington right now with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
And if Terry doesn't get signed and he doesn't play, that's trouble for Washington. And we know damn well that the Giants aren't doing anything to help themselves with that unless Russell Wilson turns back the clock 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. Right now, on paper, I know I picked Washington to win the division earlier, but right now, on paper, I don't see anybody beating Philadelphia for the East.
I mean, it's just all the moves they made sense. All of the free agency, it's just, I don't know. They just look to be that juggernaut, and not just in your division, but in the entire NFC. Like they look like the top dogs right now. And I'll ask you this: how Jerry ain't giving up the reins to that team, no matter what. No matter what. Like, I hate to get on this subject, really, but like Jerry, do you think it's over in 5 years? Do you think Steven's going to be taking over in the next inside of a decade, maybe? Or do you think it's just, Jerry's going to
if this kind of trend continues, don't be surprised if the NFL somehow gets involved and we might see Jerry forced to sell the team.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's what should be happening right now. But yeah, as long as Jerry's running that thing, he's not going to give that up without a fight.
No.
Not unless Roger Goodell tells him, hey, you need to sell the team. Like, you can't have control anymore.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Oof. Be a cold day in hell. What if, man, but surely like his son wants it, right? Steven would take it. Or do you think the family would be like, you know what, we're good, and they just get out there?
It might be one of those situations where the family's just like, yeah, maybe it's not worth keeping the team.
But like the Denver
Broncos, it's going to be a pretty penny selling. They're going to make like $8 billion for that.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most valuable, if not the
most valuable franchise in all of sports.
Yeah. So, but I remember Denver had that trouble too. They couldn't come to a consensus, and the ownership group just said, "Sell it." Like that's it.
You know? Yeah, we'll sell them to Walmart for cheap.
Good old Walmart. So, I guess one more thing here. Scary Terry. Do you think the trade goes through? You don't think they're going to re-sign him, right?
I think they'll re-sign him.
Okay.
I think they'll re-sign him because you have a young quarterback in his second year. You already got a guy that has good repertoire with them. I think they're going to figure out how to get it done, and he's going to sign and stay in Washington, especially now that they're going to be moving back to DC here pretty soon.
Yeah, how about that? That's crazy. Do you think any other changes happen? Do you think a certain name comes back or something like that?
You would maybe think. Who knows? Who knows with that one? Right now, it's Howie Roseman's world, and we're all just living in it.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
You know who Howie Roseman is? He's Sam Presti. Howie Roseman is Sam Presti. Look at it. I mean, because it seems like every great player that he's got in the last 3 or 4 years has just kind of fallen into his lap.
Yeah, it just kind of happens for him.
No, it's okay. We'll take all the Georgia players. That's fine.
I'll just keep watching it happen, and I'm like,
we'll take Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Yeah. Oh, why not? I'll just this guy, a little dash of this, a little bit of that. We'll make it work.
Okay, we'll take AJ Brown from Tennessee.
Yeah. Thank you for that. What is your opinion on Jalen Hurts? Because that guy, I swear, he has controversy everywhere. No one can give me a consensus thought about Jalen Hurts.
He's a top 5 quarterback.
Okay.
He's a top 5 quarterback. He's the best quarterback in the NFC. And really, if you look at it, it's not even close.
Yeah.
You're going to say, well, Jordan Love's got the arm. This guy's got this. Jared Goff's got this. Matt Stafford's got this. Other than Stafford, of all those guys, Hurts is the only other one who's been to a Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
He's been to 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, his roster's too stacked. You got to have a guy that has to run the ship.
I just hate that excuse. That's so dumb.
Because we've seen it where teams will have great defenses, but their offenses are putrid and can't do anything.
It's the ball, yeah.
Or vice versa. Team has great offense, i.e. the Cincinnati Bengals, but their defense sucks. You have to have somebody that takes command and runs that ship perfectly, and Jalen Hurts does that.
Right. Do you ever see the Giants getting out of that basement? Like, what is it going to take?
I think they eventually will. I think they eventually will. I think they're on the right track. As much as I clowned on them earlier, I think they had a great draft. They made some good moves this offseason.
Yeah.
I think that, a couple of years that they continue to do what they're doing, though, they might be competing for the East again.
Oh, wow. I like that take. Well, Alan, you have committed your 30 minutes to me. You may go to sleep now. You have to rest up because you and I get to talk about SummerSlam Sunday evening because we have a 2-day SummerSlam. I'm going to go to bed too because SummerSlam.
And we've got Lock It In tomorrow morning too.
And
So
you got to lock it in tomorrow. Yep. But thank you for keeping Fanboy Unleashed regular, like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Keeps going. And I just pulled a double header in podcast. So
remember, kids, it's Howie Roseman's world, and we're all just living in it.
Yeah, so you better get used to the idea, okay? That's all there is.
Tanner.
You may follow Fanboys Unleashed on all the socials.
Tanner's probably gonna fire me now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys are usually like terrified of before a take you've had or something like that.
Or like how bad our
how bad the pigs are.
Plays are. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for coming on, Alan. We will be back next Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central, not 10 o'clock. And we will be talking some more NFL football with you and with another great guest for Alan Peralez. And
I was about to call you Wit if you say it wrong again.
Shut up. It's time to go to bed. Good night, everybody. We will see you later.